Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing breakup blocking F.A.Q. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing breakup blocking F.A.Q. So if you have gone through a breakup, it can be difficult to know what to do regarding blocking. In today's podcast, I'll be answering 3 of the most common questions about blocking after a breakup. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is what to do if you are blocked. So if you have been blocked after a breakup, first of all, you need to think about, how do you know that you have been blocked? Has somebody told you this? Has a third party told you, hey look, your ex has blocked you, I just thought I would let you know? Or do you know because you were looking? Sometimes dumpees will find out they have been blocked when they are trying to reach out to their ex, and then they are shocked to find out that they seemingly have been blocked. Now, if that is the case for you, I would say most instances as a dumpee, you shouldn't be reaching out to your ex anyway. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to be feeling any better about this from me telling you that you shouldn't be doing it. So, you've been blocked, but hey, you shouldn't be doing it anyway. That's not going to make you feel any better, but it's just something important to recognise. Additionally, you may have found out, not even because you was wanting to reach out to your ex, but just because you came across something which just seemed a bit strange. For instance, maybe you were connected on social media, and all of a sudden they're not popping up on your feed, etc., etc. The point is, whatever the reason, whatever the situation, whether you are the dumper or the dumpee, if you find out you've been blocked, you must respect the blocking. Now, the reason I say this is because if somebody has blocked you, they're trying to get across the message, I don't want to communicate with you right now. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be forever. Although a blocking can sometimes be forevermore, a lot of the time people block someone just for a certain period of their life that they don't feel able or wanting to communicate. What I would say is, if you find out that you've been blocked, or if you believe you've been blocked, you need to respect the blocking as if you've been blocked on every single possible platform and opportunity. There is nothing worse than trying to cheat a blocking. If you find out you've been blocked on one social media app but you haven't been blocked on another, don't send your ex a message on this other application thinking, well, that's fine, I've not been blocked here, I will try and get through this way. If you try and cheat a blocking, you are likely to be met with a very negative response, if there is any response at all. In fact, probably more likely, you will just be blocked again on this platform. You must see one blocking as a blocking on everything and every opportunity you may have. So if you've been blocked on one social media app, that doesn't mean you can go and knock on their door. Again, that is very unlikely to go well for you. Now, it's important for me to say that there is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back. Nothing works 100% of the time, and nothing fails 100% of the time. I'm just trying to give you the best chance of success and the best opportunity for you to grow a connection with your ex, if that is something that you would like to do. And that begins with you respecting their decisions. So if you are the dumpee and your ex has dumped you, you need to respect the fact they've ended the relationship. You need to respect the fact in this instance that they blocked you. Now, this doesn't mean that you are necessarily blocked forevermore. Like I said earlier, this isn't always the case. Now, the best way for you to become unblocked is to behave in a way where your ex now trusts you. They trust that you are going to respect them. They trust that you're not going to try and cheat the blocking. They trust that you may one day be someone they would like to have a conversation with again. That is why they have likely unblocked you. Now, just keep listening if you want to know about what to do if you are unblocked, because I will be getting into this. very shortly. But right now we're talking about if you have been blocked. And if you've been blocked, you need to respect the blocking. If you're a dumper and you decide you want to reach out to your dumpee and you've been blocked, you need to understand their thought pattern, their position. You once again need to respect what they've decided to do. If your ex-dumpee wants to speak with you again in the future, they will first of all unblock you, but things will then still go at their pace. You might reach out to them and they might not respond. You need to understand that they have been likely very hurt by your decision to end the relationship and quite possibly confused about what they would like to do next. If you are a dumper and you want to reconnect with your ex, you must take that first step. You must reach out to them. But please, don't be frustrated or angry if they don't respond. Don't be frustrated or angry if you find out you're blocked. Respect their decision. So point number one, in essence, is what to do if you've been blocked. Well, I would say respect the blocking. It doesn't matter what angle you're coming at this from. Respect their decision and concentrate on you and your life. You can only control the controllables. And that, in essence, is you and what you do within your life. And what you shouldn't be doing is trying to cheat at blocking. So now let's get into point number two and the second point of today's podcast about breakup blocking, F.A.Q. And point number two is what to do if you're unblocked. So if in point number one has come true for you and you have been blocked, you've respected that blocking, and then you find out somehow that you've been unblocked, what exactly should you do? Now, first of all, we have to once again look at, how do you know you've been unblocked? Has a third party told you? Have you bumped into this information? All of a sudden, your ex is once again appearing on your feed and you realise, well, I must be unblocked. I'm now seeing what they're posting again. Or alternatively, did you keep trying to communicate and eventually one of your messages got through? If that's the case, I would say for a start, you are not in the best position. If you've been continually trying to connect with your ex, you quite possibly tried to do what I said not to do in point number one. You quite possibly tried to cheat the blocking, and maybe you've messaged on multiple applications, maybe you've been blocked on multiple ones, and maybe eventually something has gone through on something you were once blocked on. I would say you really need to be taking a look at yourself, because if you want to reconnect with your ex, although it's a good sign that you've been unblocked, what it doesn't show right now is that you have your emotions under control. Most people will not reconnect if they believe their former partner has an unstable mindset, and you're behaving in a way which I would suggest is quite unstable. You need to stabilize your mindset. So if you find out that you are now unblocked because you just continuously message somebody and eventually it goes through, I would say yes, that's a good sign, but it's not a good sign with your behavior pattern, because at the end of the day, if you behave in a similar way regarding other things going forward, you will probably be blocked again. So try to get your emotions in check. Try to regain your stability of mind. Now, to the main point of point number two, what to do if you've been unblocked? Well, I would say you continue to live your life. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if you're a dumpee, if you found out that you've been unblocked, I would suggest you still need to respect your ex's decision that they ended the relationship, and therefore, in most instances, a dumpee should never contact their ex again unless their ex contacts them first. Now, if you've been bombarding your ex with messages and one has finally gone through, then of course, you have now taken that step forward, but I don't really suggest you do. However, what is done, and therefore, all you can do is wait to see if your ex, the dumper, responds. Think of it as a game of tennis. You have knocked the ball over the net and you can't hit it again unless they hit it back to you. So, if you're a dumpee, you've reached out to your ex against my generalised advice on this, all you can do is wait to see if they respond. So basically, you're going back into no contact anyway. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by no contact is something that lots of people suggest you implement if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back. However, there are many different versions of a no contact rule that you can find online, and I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of success. So I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring the bell for notifications, and check out the playlist on my YouTube channel entitled The No Contact Rule. This will help you fully immerse yourself in my version of a rule and understand why I believe it will give you that best chance of success. So I would say as a dumpee, you need to implement this ASAP from when the breakup was finalised. But if you have reached out to your ex, you certainly need to be implementing it now. You can't be double texting, let alone triple texting. So if you're a dumpee, you found out you've now been unblocked for whatever reason, you need to concentrate on your life moving forward. Don't text your ex. If you have texted them, certainly don't text them again unless they contact you first. And unblocking basically means I'm just starting to have some level of feeling and interest in what my former partner is doing, but unless they reach out to you, they are still not showing the sign as a dumper that they want to communicate. You must respect that position. Now, the only caveat about what I'm saying right now is if you are the dumper. If you are the dumper and you find out that you have now been unblocked by your dumpee, you do need to reach out. However, once again, if you found out because you keep bombarding your ex with messages and one has finally gone through, well, look, that is your message. You must then go into no contact as well. However, if you found out via a third party or maybe just because social media has suggested that you are now unblocked, you need to be the one to reach out to your dumpee. As a dumper, you must take that step forward. Now, if you want support about how to go through the communication stage, whether you are a dumper reaching out or whether you are a dumpee receiving contact from your ex, or perhaps you are still going through the grind, trying to escape the pain and going through breakup recovery, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one and I become your coach and your teammate. Please check out my website, www.dateme.tips, for more details on my audio coaching and how I can become your coach and your teammate. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about breakup blocking, F.A.Q. And point number 3 is when should you block someone? So how about you're in a position where you are wondering, should I be blocking my ex? The breakup has been finalised. Should I block my former partner? Well, I would say this depends on your mental health. If you're a dumpee and you're really feeling pained by the fact of what your ex has done to you, by the decisions that your former partner has made, by your general feelings, if your mental health is suffering as a dumpee, then you may want to consider blocking your ex. Now look, it goes without saying, if you block your ex, you're making it harder for them to communicate with you, if not impossible. So you need to really think about what it is you actually want. If you want to try to get your ex back, then blocking your ex is not likely to help you. But your mental health must come first. And if that is suffering, if seeing your ex's social media posts is really hurting you, then blocking them may be the option for you. I would always suggest, if you want to get your ex back, looking at other options first. Because blocking, although it isn't final, it does feel final. A blocking can be removed, as we spoke about earlier, but for the person being blocked, it does give the impression this is forever. So as a dumpee, if you want to try to get your ex back, but your mental health is suffering due to seeing social media posts, what I would suggest you do before deciding to block your ex is whether or not you can just remove notifications. That would be a way of keeping the lines of communication open, but also preventing you from being pained by seeing these posts. Maybe this wouldn't help, and maybe this isn't exactly why you're wondering about blocking your ex, but at the end of the day, if your mental health is suffering, you need to block your ex. If that's what you need to do, you need to do it. Similarly with dumpers. You know, if your mental health is suffering, if you feel that your ex is not respecting your decision, if you feel your ex is really getting out of hand with a constant, continuous contact of you, they're not taking no for an answer, and you feel somewhat worried for them or yourself, then maybe blocking them is the only option for you as well. Again, remember that blocking does show the sign that this is something final. It might not be, but this is what it shows them, and it can have a big effect on their thoughts, their feelings towards you and themselves. but your mental health must come first, okay? Now look, if you're worried about your ex, let friends, family, other people around in your area know, maybe contact a local professional. If you are worried about their state of mind, you want to reach out and get them some support. But if you are worried for you, if you are worried for how they're treating you, then maybe the first step is to block them. And then again, you will also need to speak with friends, family, and a local professional potentially. Blocking somebody is serious, but it is sometimes necessary. If you feel that this is the only way you need to move forward, then that is probably what you need to do. Speak with friends, family, and local professionals if you need assistance with your mental health and or the worry regarding your ex. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.